Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. So this is my second video that I am posting tonight. The first video was about God's gifts, belief in suffering. You should check it out. You might can learn something because I know that I did. This video that I am posting tonight is titled Mercy Triumphs Over Judgment. Man, this scripture is very deep. You know, it might sound very superficial, but when you dig deep, it's deep, you know. And God has shown me that He is love and He expects us to be that love in this world. You know, of course, we're not going to be perfect to His standard because we are human. That's the only reason why. It's because we are in our fleshly being. But we do have the ability to, be that love that He is in this world. And first, it could start with mercy over judgment. I just want to give an example of what that can look like just in your everyday life. So an example would be, okay, let's say that there's someone at work. They did something that was not so nice, or just, wasn't, that just bothered you and might have bothered some other people. And, you decided, hey, I'm going to bring it up to this person. So you have two options of how you can bring it up to that person. First, you can bring it up to the person, with a humble and gentle spirit, just being like, hey, listen, what you did the other day, that was not right. All right. I'm just keeping it real. I don't know if anybody told you, but I felt the need that you should hear it and that it should come from me. And just explaining to them in full, why they did what they did was wrong. And also explaining to them how it could have been done in a better manner. And your goal isn't to belittle the person, but to just help that person out to make better choices in the future. Or you can do option two, going to the person and, showing your anger to that person and, letting that person know that they're like this horrible person for what they did. And, and just making them feel like this, just like I said, just a horrible person, and like their mistake will always stay with you basically, and it will always hang over them, and, option A is mercy, whether you believe it or not. And option two is judgment. The the similarities between the two is that you're bringing it up to the person and you're telling them what they did was wrong, and there is a thing called righteous judgment. And that's basically just knowing right from wrong based off of the Bible. God is righteous. He is righteousness, period. So if we want to know whether something is right or wrong, we can go easily to His word and we will know right off the bat. You know what I'm saying? And but how you handle that situation, how you bring it up to the person, that's where the mercy over judgment comes in. Number two, the option two, the reason why that is judgment is because, you expressing how you feel to the person, yes, it's making them think about what they did wrong, but it's also making them feel that they are a horrible person. God doesn't make us feel that way, but guess who does? The devil. When we make a mistake, he wants us to, feel like there's no change that can be done. He wants it to be held over our heads and to never leave our shoulders. He wants us to feel just horrible afterwards. and feel like there's nothing that you can fix it, or just basically no hope. He just wants you to feel hopeless, and you feeling that way, it takes you away from Christ. It takes you away from Christ, and that's not something that we should do. We should never strive to take someone away from Christ, whether it's consciously or subconsciously. That shouldn't be the goal. And we have to make sure, and if that's not your goal, we have to make sure that, we are presenting ourselves in a way that is Christ-like. Option one, you're doing the same thing by expressing to the person what they did wrong, but the person can actually sit back and think, okay, let me compare, what I did wrong to what I could have done. And, they start to think on their own, okay, maybe I could have done it better, and, I don't want to sit here and fool anybody and think that everybody is going to do that. Even if you came to someone in a, loving spirit, gentle, kind, and they don't handle it well, they don't take it well, let them do that. You know what I'm saying? Let them do that. That doesn't mean you go and do it back. That doesn't mean that you go and do it. Make sure that you show mercy on your end. Make sure that you show love on your end, and you will be blameless. I'm a kindergarten teacher, and I have to tell my students that just because someone did something to you, that doesn't mean that you go and do it back. I know we teach our kids to, you know, do this to this person if they do it to you, but you're in the wrong as well when you do it, so I don't want anyone to be fooled and think that, yeah, when you go to this person in this kind of way, in a merciful way, that they will receive what you have said and change. It doesn't always happen that way. Now it can happen that way, it can, but it doesn't always happen that way. But it's all about you doing your part, and that's what God looks at. And when we make mistakes, God, he doesn't, beat us up for it. He doesn't, I'm telling you, to be honest, I don't believe that he judges us. I believe he shows mercy. He shows grace, because that's who he is. He's a loving God. He's a graceful and merciful God. That's what it says in his word. So that's what he is going to show. He wants you to be a better person. He will blot out your transgressions. He has done that for me, especially if you go to him and ask and be like, hey, God, can you blot out my transgressions? Can you blot out the things that I need to work on? He will definitely do that, but when he does that, he doesn't just leave you there. He doesn't make you feel like, oh, you're this horrible person and there's nothing that you can do to make up for it, da 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 da. Or you have to, go this extra mile to, do all of these things. Man, when I tell you, God, as far as in my experience, when he has bloated out my transgressions, he's like, hey, I just want you to be mindful of what I just told you and to just strive to do better. At the end of the day, I love you, but I just want you to strive to do better than, compared to what you did before. And I will help you. That's the thing. I will help you along the way, and that's how we should be. That's mercy, and we should be that in this world. There's, like, guys, when I tell you, there's so much hate already going on in this world. There's so much judgment that's going on in this world. There's just so much that's going on in this world. Like, the least that we can do is just try to show mercy in just little situations like that, like at our jobs and things like that. Let's try not to, create this division, but to create peace, or, at least, to help somebody, um, that's, at least what I think, um, but in my opinion, I rather show mercy and try to, have the peace while showing that tough love and letting you know what you did, but I rather show mercy than judgment, you know. But I want to give two scriptures. It's 1 Corinthians 13, 1 through 3. And that just explains that you can have all these accomplishments. You can know all of these things and mysteries about the Bible. You can have all this wisdom. You can even help out the poor. But if you do not have love, it doesn't mean anything. It does not mean anything. It means nothing, you know, and that's very, very, very deep. It shows how much love is important to God. Love is very important to God, you know. So if we choose not to show love, you know, we're choosing not to show love to Christ and the Father. You know, we have to think about those kinds of things. Also, another scripture is Matthew 22, 37 through 40. And God has given the two greatest commandments, which is number one, loving the Father and the Son with all your heart and with all your being, you know. And two is to love your neighbor as you love yourself. In scripture 40, he said to hang on to those commandments. That's how important the fact that he told you to hang on, that the fact that he told us to hang on to those commandments, that shows you how important love is, you know. So, you know, I just wanted to just express this, that guys, I know sometimes we get caught in, oh, you're wrong, you're this, you're that, you know, especially if the person is wrong, especially if we may happen to be right. But, we have to think about what we want on the last day and on Judgment Day. Would we want to be shown judgment, or would we want to be shown mercy? You know, what would you want to be shown on the last day from God? And if your answer is mercy, make sure that you are showing mercy to other people. Oh, I didn't read actually the scripture that I was going to read, James chapter 2, verse 12 and 13. So speak ye, and so do, as they that shall be judged by the law of liberty. For he shall have judgment without mercy, that hath showed no mercy. And mercy rejoiceth against judgment. So that basically is saying, that's the King James Version, that when you do not show mercy, mercy will not be shown to you, you know. And when you show mercy, mercy will be given unto you, you know. And, like I said, I'm a kindergarten teacher, so I have to tell my students, hey, treat people the way you want to be treated. I tell them that. And, we think that those are just teachings for kindergarten and preschool and, maybe first grade, second, basically elementary school. Or no, these are lessons and teachings that we can take as well as adults, if you want God to show mercy to you, make sure that you're doing that to other people. Treat people the way you would like to be treated, so treat people the way you would like to be treated on the last day, that's something that I'm definitely, learning as well. And it's not something that we're born with. It's something that is learned over time, experiencing life, practicing, it's learned. And we're not perfect, we're human, so yes, we make mistakes, but your mistakes don't find you, and you can always do better, but we gotta do better on making sure that we show that mercy before judgment. So I hope you guys learn from this video. I just want more love into this world, and that's why I felt the need to, make this video, and hopefully it touched you guys, how it has touched my heart and my spirit, and how it just made me want to be a better person and make sure I'm being more mindful of what I'm thinking and what's in my heart and what I am saying, So I pray again that you guys have a good night and a safe night, and I hope to see you again. Have a good night.